about your ideal city, you know, how can a city become sustainable? And I think it comes down to, when you think about sustainability, this slow process of change, and how can you get people on an individual level to adopt small habits, small things in their daily life to make their city more sustainable. I think it comes down to that individual effort in order to ensure sustainability. So, I mean, there's the individual level, and then there's also the community aspect of improving sustainability. So the community has to be strong to come together to work towards environmental sustainability. There's also the economic sustainability that comes into play as well when we talk about sustainable cities. So all these things, the economy, the environment and the community have to come together in order to make cities more sustainable. And each city has its own way of addressing these things, and PJ will have its own unique way of becoming sustainable.
The idea of a sustainable and livable city is that a city must be complete with a symbiotic ecosystem that is considerate of the rakyat. Consideration meaning that it is always considering about, number one is economy, number two is social, number three is about environment, and also health. The people, not only one type of people, it consists of many types of people, such as people in the lower level, the middle incomers, and the high incomers. So the city must be considerate of all this. And when you consider all these people, you have to create platform for these people to integrate with the city. Not only the infrastructure will not be able to exist by its own. The people must be able to coexist together. That's the role of MBPJ, to be part of the whole system whereby they actually look at the whole synergy between the infrastructure and the people to coexist and create a livable and sustainable city.
Yang paling penting bila time kita nak encourage what cycling culture, even any culture, there's a three main thing, a 3E: education, engineering, and enforcement. Education part is we need to give awareness, we need to give class to all the kids or dekat that community to for them to accept that bicycle can become transport. Second, in terms of engineering, that's where it's come the cycling lane, bicycle parking. Maybe we need to have a bicycle highway or something based on the city design. And third is the enforcement. So we need to maybe use enforcement and engineering to make like this second group convert to another mode of transportation.
So what makes a place livable? And I think even though we're really busy with our daily lives, we don't stop to consider these things anymore. We just kind of, as I said, adapt, and human beings are very resilient. But there are certain things that are very intrinsic that make people happy. And you go to certain neighborhoods and you can see that there are certain good things about it. So I think a livable city is a place that people can be happy, and there's enough going on the weekends, there's enough for them to do, to engage with people. Yeah, I guess essentially it's just a place where you're happy to live. Slow and steady process, this idea of sustainability, making cycling sustainable, it's something that's going to take a long time. But it's good that MPPJ and PJKITA are really committed to this idea. And I think what MPPJ could focus on is the hardware of this initiative, making streets better, making sure there are no potholes, making sure lanes are well lit, making sure there's places where you can lock up your bikes, where all this kind of infrastructure. And PJKITA has a really important role to play in terms of the software. And I think one of the things that would be really great is to start in schools, to really get children involved and to develop this culture of cycling, because essentially it's a very new, it's a culture that's existed before, so we're trying to revive an old culture of making cycling a viable option, right? So having programs in schools instead of their usual jogathon, maybe a cycleathon. Having some bikes in store so that people can learn how to. Another thing is a big fear that people have, kind of like a the general idea that people have about cycling. I mean, one thing is the weather, but that's something that we just have to adjust towards. Another thing is cars. I mean, people are really concerned, how fast people drive, and there's no consciousness about cyclists. So that really needs to be addressed, from the car owner perspective, because most of us are car owners, and I think, that kind of education is really important in order to get people who drive to be aware of cyclists on the road, and I think that can be done if more people took up cycling, so then as a driver, you're considerate that, this could be my son, or they're aware of what it feels like to have cars driving really quickly pass by you.
I think MBPJ initiative to make it one-way system was really good. A lot of people didn't like it, but I, as a PJ person, like it a lot, because by doing that, the secondary road system in PJ has become less traffic, and everything has been distributed outside to the main highway. PJKITA, the new initiative about MBPJ, I think is a brilliant idea, because if you know that Local Agenda 21 was created about 20 years ago, a lot of the municipal was trying to champion the Local Agenda 21, and so happened that MBPJ was one of the first to champion it. It's already about 16 years, and I think the other municipal like DBKL is only 10 years. I think with this PJKITA is a good form of rebranding of Local Agenda 21. Local Agenda 21 was not to say it was not a good document, but I think that it was a bit too rigid and it's a bit difficult for the people, the rakyat, to comprehend. With the creation of PJKITA, the design of this document the design of this program has become a bit different. It comes direct to the heart, especially to the people in PJ. We now feel that it's not only a rigid program, but it's actually us. We have to take care of our city. If we don't take care of our city, who else will take care of city? With the design of the PJKITA, it starts to look at the global localized structure of program. Not only it looks like definition of the document of Local Agenda 21, but it starts to look at actually what the people want. That's what we want. We want people to actually talk to MBPJ. We want to, so that is a sharing idea. So it's a sharing idea, and MBPJ can do something about what people want. Before this, people cannot, there was no platform for people to actually say what they want, and there was no real reason why the local authority would want to listen. With this program, it enables the people and the local authority and also the private sector to actually congregate together to create a cumulative, a symbiotic program together to make it better, sustainable and a more better livable city.
Jalan dah jadi one way, but how MPPJ choose the advantage of extra kan ada extra space because jalan dah jadi one way, to convert that place to become a cycling bigger pavement and a dedicated cycling lane, so people can start cycling rather than driving. Although dia ada some part is berbukit sikit, but sebenarnya from one point to one point dia dekat, but because of dia ada banyak how they design banyak housing area, housing estate, menyebabkan all these point are not connected. Kalau connected pun in long way. If we can connect this point in the shortest way available, that can make people feel cycling is easier.
In terms of society, what society can do to adopt all the different initiatives that can be done is to really have an open mind, because that's how changes occur. You have to take a step back and see the value in considering a change in lifestyle. I mean, some parts of PJ are very cyclable, and it can easily be done. Just small steps each and every day. And I think that's what we can do. To society should support the initiatives done by PJKITA and MPPJ. Get your neighbors involved, get your kids to go. I think that's the best way for society to.
The Utrecht, they have a dedicated parking that range about 12,500 bicycle parking. That's the largest in the world. And also in Strasbourg, they have about 333 miles of route of bicycle. And they don't only stop at there. They actually design the bicycle to fit the people. In Taiwan, they have a U-bike is placed anywhere, but they actually station the U-bike at a really strategic location. Did you know that in Taiwan, they actually every corner of the city they actually plan as open plaza that allows to put the U-bike there, so people actually know, and then they go to the plaza and then they can take a bike to go to another plaza, and then they can stop there, park, or if they want, they can take another U-bike to another plaza. That is what we call a sustainable biking city.
If I were the mayor, I would become the advocate for change. I think that's a really huge impact, that if the mayor themselves or herself or himself, in my case myself, were to go down and actually cycle to work. You know, if I live and work in PJ, you know, maybe on certain days take that leap, or if not, you know, do it, you know, recreationally, cycle to the park. Really kind of, you know, I think that's how the best impact if the mayor himself or herself took on cycling as their own habit. I think it's really important to like gardening, right? It's all about having the best soil. You know, you got to start right, and I think the introduction to this culture of cycling is really important. These initial stages that we're at right now, it's really important to keep it going, and I really hope that this isn't just a one-off initiative, that it's something that, you know, will eventually grow with people's interests to maintain this culture and maintain this lifestyle change, and I hope it's not just a one-off kind of thing, so that it can become sustainable. It's really exciting to see that there's this platform now from our local council that gives us a direct channel in order to make changes happen. It's really great that you know, if you want to create change, we can directly go to PJKITA with an idea, and there are people who are excited to see things happen, and it's really nice to be able to cut the bureaucracy a little bit and go directly to making impact, and it's really great that we have PJKITA on board in this process.